Hi kiddos, it's Mrs. Trees again. Here we go. Eyes are watching, ears are listening, voices quiet, bodies calm. This is how we listen, this is how we listen at group time, at group time. Alright, let's go ahead and do our letter sound song. And now I am going to be listening for you to say the sound of the letter during our song. Okay, here we go. The A says ah. Every letter makes a sound. The A says ah. The B says b. Every letter makes a sound. The B says b. The C says k. Every letter makes a sound. The C says k. The D says d. Every letter makes a sound. The D says d. The E says eh. Every letter makes a sound. The E says eh. The F says f. Every letter makes a sound. The F says f. The G says g. Every letter makes a sound. The G says g. The H says h. Every letter makes a sound. The H says h. The I says I. Every letter makes a sound. The I says I. The J says j. The J says j. Every letter makes a sound. The J says j. The K says k. The K says k. Every letter makes a sound. The K says k. The L says L. Every letter makes a sound. The L says L. The M says mm. Every letter makes a sound. The M says mm. The N says mm. Every letter makes a sound. The N says mm. The O says ah. Every letter makes a sound. The O says ah. The P says p. Every letter makes a sound. The P says p. The Q says qu. Every letter makes a sound. The Q says qu. The R says Every letter makes a sound. The R says The S says Every letter makes a sound. The S says S. The T says T. Every letter makes a sound. The T says T. The U says ah. Every letter makes a sound. The U says The V says v. Every letter makes a sound. The V says v. The W says w. Every letter makes a sound. The W says w. The X says The X says X. Every letter makes a sound. The X says X. The Y says Y. Every letter makes a sound. The Y says Y. And the Z says Z. Every letter makes a sound. The Z says Z. I'm impressed. You all have been learning a lot this year. I am very impressed. Okay, let's move on to our circle or our shapes. I just gave that one away. That's okay. This one has no sides, so it is a circle. A circle has no sides. A circle has no sides. Of all of the shapes we know, a circle has no sides. What about this right here with 1, 2, 3, 4 equal sides? It's a square. A square has 4 sides. A square has 4 sides. Of all of the shapes we know, a square has 4 sides. Hey, what about this one? We have 1, 2, 3 sides. It is a triangle. A triangle has 3 sides. A triangle has 3 sides. Of all of the shapes we know, a triangle has 3 sides. What about this one? With 2 long sides and 2 short sides. Do you remember what it's called? A rectangle. A rectangle has 2 long sides. A rectangle has 2 short sides. Of all of the shapes we know, a rectangle has 2 long and 2 short sides. I'm impressed. Okay, what about this one? It has 1, 2, 3, 4 points. A diamond or a kite. Some people even call it a rhombus. Here we go. A diamond has 4 points. A diamond has 4 points. Of all of the shapes we know, a diamond has 4 points. And this one? Yes, a heart. And that has 2 curves and a point. A heart has 2 curves and a point. A heart has 2 curves and a point. Of all of the shapes we know, a heart has 2 curves and a point. Okay, here's a new shape. What is this one? A star! Yeah, a star! And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points on a star. On our diamond, we only had 4 points, but a star has 5 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, you know the song. Let's go ahead with our new shape and say, a star has 5 points. A star has 5 points. Of all of the shapes we know, a star has 5 points. Ooh, you're getting good at these shapes. You're getting so good at these shapes. As a matter of fact, I think you're ready for a challenge. I'm going to ask you to go find something that is a circle in your house. You can push pause on the video and go find something that is a circle in your house. Did you find something that was a circle in your house? I did. What's yours? Those are circles. Oh, with no sides. I found the lid of a baby food jar. See, screws is a circle with no sides. And here, when you put it on, there's a circle with no sides. Ooh, you're good at this game. Okay, let's see if you can find a rectangle. You can push pause on the video and find a rectangle in your house. Did you find a rectangle in your house? I did. Take a look at my PJ Masks book. It has 2 long sides and 2 short sides. It is a rectangle. Let me see your rectangles. Those are amazing rectangles. You all are good at this. Okay, last one. 4 equal sides. It's a square. Yes, it's a square. Can you find a square somewhere in your house? Go ahead and push pause. Let's see if we can find a square somewhere in your house. Okay, where are those squares? Show me those squares. Ooh, those are some good squares. I found another book, Round as a Tortilla. I've read this to you. It's a book of shapes. Well, the whole book is 1, 2, 3, 4 equal sides. So the whole book is a square. That was fun. Okay, you guys, here we go. Put your hands up. Turn your hands around. And give yourselves a big old pat on the back because you did amazing. And I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye, kiddos.